Welcome to the online tutorial for the Pro-Nox nitrous oxide delivery system. This system is designed to deliver a mixture of 50% oxygen and 50% nitrous oxide to spontaneously breathing patients for control of pain and anxiety. The Pro-Nox uses an internal demand valve, which means it delivers the 50-50 mixture to the patient whenever they take a breath from the Pro-Nox circuit. The gas flow stops when the patient stops breathing in, so no gas is wasted. The Pro-Nox mixer and all indicators, alarms, and safety devices are pneumatically powered, requiring no battery or electrical power supply. Looking at the front of the Pro-Nox, in the center is the two-patient port. This is where the mix of 50% nitrous oxide and 50% oxygen is delivered into the circuit and to the patient. At the right of the two-patient port is the on-off control knob. The system will only deliver the 50-50 mix when the gases are connected, and this knob is in the on position. To the right and left side of the faceplate are the gas source visual indicators. These are labeled with the gas they are measuring. The nitrous oxide is on the left and is indicated with the blue ring and the N2O label. The oxygen gas source visual indicator is on the right, has a green circle, and has the label O2. These visual indicators are solid when the gas source is adequate, and flash on and off when the gas source is low. The other important component of the Pro-Nox nitrous oxide delivery system is the Pro-N2O circuit. The Pro-N2O circuit is designed and manufactured to work with the Pro-Nox system. Modifying or adding to this circuit can change the overall resistance and affect system performance. The circuit includes a high-efficiency bacterial viral filter, which protects both the patient and the Pro-Nox from contamination. The 6-foot-long tubing is both lightweight and flexible to maximize its ease of use for the patient. The patient end of the extendable tubing is connected to the patient valve. The patient valve actually consists of two one-way valves which ensure that inspired gas comes from the Pro-Nox and that exhaled gas flows out of the exhalation side to prevent rebreathing. The exhalation side of the patient valve has a connector that is designed to fit the 19mm cuffs of the magenta scavenging tubing. This connector also prevents attachment of the patient tubing to the wrong side of the patient valve. The patient port comes with a mouthpiece and nose clips for the patient. If you prefer, you can remove the mouthpiece and attach a mask to the patient port. The Pro-N2O circuit is designed for single patient use to eliminate equipment that is handed from one patient to the next. This protects your patients from the risk of equipment-related infection. When preparing to use the Pro-Nox nitrous oxide delivery system, position the roll stand near the patient so that the circuit will reach the patient easily. Ensure the hoses and regulators are connected and that the regulators are securely fastened onto the cylinder valves. Using the cylinder wrench, open the nitrous oxide cylinder valve. You should see the regulator pressure gauge rise, and the nitrous oxide visual indicator on the front of the Pro-Nox should turn green. Now open the oxygen cylinder valve. Again, you should see the regulator pressure gauge rise and the visual indicator turn green. Opening the nitrous oxide cylinder first will minimize unnecessary noise. As the alarms are powered by the oxygen, if you opened the oxygen valve first, it would activate the low nitrous oxide alarm. Remove the patient circuit from its package. Extend the circuit and place the filter end onto the two-patient port of the Pro-Nox unit. The circuit comes with a mouthpiece attached, but if you are using a mask, remove the mouthpiece and place the mask at the patient outlet. The nitrous oxide low pressure alarm cycles at 40 cycles per minute. The oxygen low pressure alarm cycles at 180 cycles per minute. Because the alarms are powered by the oxygen gas, they will continue until the oxygen cylinder valve has been closed, the oxygen supply is depleted, or until the cylinder that is low has been changed. Note that the Pro-Nox's on-off control knob does not deactivate the alarm. To change the oxygen cylinder, start by closing the cylinder valve with the cylinder wrench, turning in a clockwise direction. Loosen the T-bar of the regulator and remove the regulator from the cylinder yoke. Start slowly, as any pressure remaining in the system will be released as you do this. Remove the cylinder and replace it with a full one. Check that the washer is still on the regulator valve stem. Place the regulator on the cylinder, lining up the regulator valve stem and pins with the holes in the cylinder yoke. Tighten the regulator T-bar until snug. Open the cylinder valve by turning the cylinder wrench in a counterclockwise direction. Check that the regulator pressure gauge reads approximately 2200 psi and that the oxygen pressure indicator on the front of the Pro-Nox is green. Your patient can now resume using the Pro-Nox. If you are using oxygen cylinders, silence the low nitrous oxide pressure alarm by closing the oxygen cylinder valve. Do this with the cylinder wrench, turning in a clockwise direction. Then, close the nitrous oxide cylinder valve in the same way. Loosen the T-bar of the nitrous oxide regulator. Start slowly, as any residual pressure in the high-pressure hose will be released. Remove the regulator from the cylinder yoke. Then, replace the cylinder with a full one. Check that the washer is still present on the regulator valve stem before placing the regulator onto the new cylinder. Line it up so the valve stem and the two pins on the regulator slide into the holes on the cylinder yoke. Tighten the regulator T-bar until snug. Open the nitrous oxide cylinder valve by turning the cylinder wrench in a counterclockwise direction. Open fully. The tank pressure gauge should read approximately 750 psi, and the gas pressure indicator should be solid green. Open the oxygen cylinder valve with the cylinder wrench. There may be a small chirp from the Pro-Nox alarm as it resets. Your patient is now able to resume using the Pro-Nox.